The state of emergency in Courtenay is still in place tonight. The flood threat in many parts of the city has now subsided, but several homes are still underwater. Under evacuation orders. The state of emergency, according to the city, will likely be lifted tomorrow. But today the focus was on drying up and cleaning out. Businesses and homeowners didn't waste any time to mop up the mess.
Today in Courtenay, they're cleaning the remaining floodwaters out of their homes and businesses. It's a major mess for some, but a boon for restoration companies.
We have about 18 new floods in the last couple of days, and they keep on coming in. Homes, businesses, we have a lot on the Puntledge Road here.
The Puntledge Road area was one of the hardest hit in yesterday's flooding. Much of the water that filled the streets also started filling places like the Link, a drop-in center for local teenagers.
There was muddy water coming in. The water's gone, but we got the mud. So we have to, big job of mopping all of that up and trying to dry out a few things that are still wet.
The high water that poured through here yesterday has left a large mess and has damaged some of the electronics, table games and furniture. They're waiting to see how much damage occurred to the indoor skate bowl, but until further notice, the center is closed.
We're hoping that we can be open fairly quickly. You know, we had 1,000 kids through here last month, and we don't want them not being able to go somewhere and do the things they're enjoying.
Up the street, another business hit by the flood knows all about getting rid of unwanted water. Ironically, the pump house is today pumping itself out.
I don't think there's any pump company in Canada that could have kept that much water out of their store, even if we had all our pumps running. It just came so fast and so much water that there's definitely nothing we could have done to prevent it.
Over at Santa's Workshop, a volunteer organization that was collecting new and used toys for Christmas, there's as much heartache as there is water. Even though they were covered in plastic, many of the toys are ruined, and it gets worse.
And I just found out that the owner's insurance doesn't cover the flooding. And checking with our own liability insurance, see if they cover it.
The city and emergency personnel will be reviewing how everything went yesterday, but at this point they seem quite pleased and say it went so smoothly in part because they had practiced for the flooding scenario, ironically, just last Thursday.
When the call went out on Monday morning that we were opening up the Emergency Operations Center, they did their fan-out calls. Everybody showed up, pretty much sat in the exact same desk they had been on Thursday. It pretty much went off without a hitch.
The only thing they didn't expect was the more than 500 phone calls that inundated the RCMP over traffic concerns.
We did get the cooperation of both the local radio station, but not everybody, unfortunately listens to them, so we have to find some way of trying to get that information out.
Hopefully that will be worked out before the next flood hits. In Courtenay, Gord Kurbis, A News.